go to Holstein from day one, or where did you start going to school?
Actually, kindergarten, first and second grade, I was at Garnet School.
That was still open. I don't think that exists anymore, right?
No, I think somebody bought it there.
And it's like
a house now.
It's a house.
Yeah.
Like that was actually a school. I don't think a lot of people know that.
And I think my dad went to school in Calumetville.
There was a school there?
In Calumetville.
Really?
I think up until, it might have even been 8th grade. I mean, he was there. Most of his school was in Calumetville.
So there was a school in Calumetville.
Yeah, where my dad went.
Wow, I had no idea.
I went to Garnet School, which was a mile from where I grew up.
Okay.
For first and second grade, and then went to Holstein Elementary in 3rd grade.
For what reason? Just because?
They didn't have 3rd grade.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah.
And like, how big was your class at Garnet?
My 2nd grade class, I think there was 3 students.
And do you remember who they were?
First grade, Robin Ditter. I think Gina Kaler.
Okay.
And actually, they were a grade ahead of me, but I was with them for some reason.
Probably because there wasn't enough kids.
And I think the 2nd grade class had 8 students. And there was only 2 boys, me and Todd Reeder.
We're the only
Sean
boys.
Ditter, I think there's 3 of us.
Really? Okay.
So 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade were all in one room.
Okay.
I think we had 22 students.
I mean, it was just a tiny building, right? There's nothing to it.
So then going to Holstein in 3rd grade, that was kind of a culture shock.
The big city?
The big city, yeah. Didn't know anybody. But.
And so who was your first friend in 3rd grade?
Oh, man. I remember Noel Sipple. Trouble. Yep. I think Bobby Modis was in
Trouble.
Yeah. It's a wonder I turned out as good as I did.
Well, that's debatable.
Yeah, I don't remember. Miss Head was my 3rd grade teacher, and she dated my grandpa when they were in high school.
Did she tell you that in school?
Yeah.
Or did your grandpa tell you that?
She said to my brother that she said something like, "You have Howie's eyes." My grandpa was Howard. And so I remember getting into that classroom though and thinking she's the oldest person I've ever seen.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I remember when I went to Holstein starting in 5th grade. I went to Mount Calvary for the 1st through 4th. Mm-hmm. And you know that school's not there anymore. They tore it down. Yeah. And I remember being really scared going into 5th grade because I was like, man, Holstein is a big city. This is a big school. There's lockers. Like your boyhood, right? Like when you were, 8, 10, 12, like, were you always hanging out at home, or were you like going into Calumetville, and were you like playing on the farm all the time? Or what were you doing?
Not much to do.
What were your days like?
We fortunately had the house just next to us. Tim and Jeff Moreau's were our age.
They were your neighbors?
Yeah.
The Moreau's boys?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
And then the next house on the other side of them was Clayt and Nikki Emmer.
Okay.
So we had some kids our age, which was kind of fun.
Uh-huh.
Spent a lot of time back in the woods. But yeah, not much to do. We didn't have cable. Did you have cable in Mount Calvary?
No, not until I feel like I was in junior high or early high school. But I think like junior high.
I remember renting a VCR from the U-Haul in Fond du Lac. And the first movie we got was Karate Kid.
It's a good choice.
Yeah.
Good choice.
I don't know when that would have been though, but.
So.
No cable, no sidewalks.
And but how far away was like Calumetville from your house, your parents' house? So would you walk it or bike it to go in? Like, was there anything to do in town?
No, there's nothing to do in Calumetville either.
Okay.
Unless Cedar Lodge on the weekends.
Was that there when you were a kid? Yeah. Okay. Would you guys go down to the lake a lot or no? Winnebago?
When we were younger, we would. I remember my dad saying after they were done baling hay, they would go to Velvet Beach.
I've heard of it,
which is just north of Pipe.
Okay.
And so we went down there a couple times when we were younger, and I think one time we went down there and there was a woman who brought her soap and her shampoo and was taking a bath in the lake.
That's amazing.
And then my mom never took us again after that. Actually, I think the next summer we put a pool in. So I ruined the fun. I remember when we were kids once, we drove across the lake to Oshkosh.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I've heard of people doing that. I heard that like Jesse Beagle would do that.
Really?
Well, I think he went to Oshkosh for college, and I swear somebody telling me
Yeah,
that like in the winter, like he would commute across the lake instead of going around.
Yeah, I remember.
Which may or may not be true. There's a lot of Holy Land, lore, quote unquote.
I remember my mom being terrified
Of driving across.
Yeah.
Like how did that even happen?
I don't know. My dad.
It was just your dad was
go on
like
adventure or something.
Like did you need to go to Oshkosh
No,
for some
I don't
reason,
think
or
so.
were you guys just like, let's drive across?
Yeah, I think it was just
The whole family? How
'cause
old?
Again, we
how old
didn't
were
have
you?
cable. It's one of my first memories. So I was probably 3 or 4.
Oh my God,
probably much
that's
too young to be out
amazing.
there.
That's amazing.
Would you take your kids across the lake?
No,
2 and 4?
never.
Chance,
Never.
right?